What's up, everybody? It is Red Element coming at you from the RedCraft server again, and today we're going to be working on the factory again. So what we're going to do today is a continuation of extending out this to be my one-stop shop for almost anything I need. And we're going to go ahead and get the furnace and a bamboo farm built. So right through here is where I'm actually thinking of building the furnace. It's going to be a design that Iscal 85 actually came up with. It's a bamboo powered furnace, which he did design to use zero-tick bamboo farms, but if the furnace itself is 64 blocks long. It's two sets of 64 furnaces. So I'm gonna have items flow in through here to be smelted, and then on this end over here I'm actually going to build a bamboo farm above this thing here, above it here, and it's going to build out, or not build out, I'm going to build out the bamboo farm here. It'll push all the items over there, and then it'll fuel the furnace with bamboo. That way I should never have to actually refuel this thing. I'm probably going to set it up so that when I'll have a manual harvest button in the control center, and then whenever an item enters the furnace to be smelted, it'll trigger the harvest. But that's pretty much my only goal for today. I just kind of needed to reset because I was playing other games. I mean, I play other games other than Minecraft, but I played a game that I'd never actually played before, and I'd heard about but never interacted with. It's called Doki Doki Literature Club, and I'm not into JRPGs or dating sims or anything, so I've always just never had an interest. But somebody told me I had to play it, that it was just absolutely insane. God, why do I keep doing that? And then I couldn't get away with not playing it. So I did, and I'm not going to spoil anything for anybody, but if you've played this game, then played it to completion, then you know that it's crazy. I think you should absolutely play it if you haven't, but I just needed to come up onto and play some Minecraft just to kind of reset after playing that game. So I'm going to do some, simple stuff, just knock out a quick furnace and bamboo farm, and that'll get me kind of in the right headspace, hopefully. And yeah, we'll just get started down that road. Okay, so we have got the furnaces as well as the item collection system more or less done. If you're following Iscal's tutorial exactly, you'll notice that that particular part is different. He does use just a basic redstone clock without the pistons, but I prefer this style. And that over there is where we will collect our items, and I will then feed it into this collection system over here. What I'm probably actually going to do is cut this down so that way it just kind of goes into this item stream here, but I'm not 100% on that yet because I don't know quite where I'm going to put the search engine yet. I'm thinking there, but I haven't fully decided on that. We'll see how it goes. I should have been paying a lot more attention to this, or the placement of this machine, because this thing's going to end up being 8 tall, and if you look right there, it's going to encroach on this. Cool, and then fall in that lava. Yeah, so I don't know what I want to do right now. I've already built a lot of this furnace. I mean, there's really not much left. I've just got to put in the input, and then I can get started on the bamboo and start working on filling the machine and a little bit of redstone. I really do think that it's going to be easier to tear this and that down and move it than it's going to be to do this. So I might actually tear down this system and put it over there. That way, that already requires my input. I have to be there for this to run. And it's the same with this. So I might just go ahead and move this over to there. That way all the machines that that need me are kind of contained to an area. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Which extended the time that this is going to take. But I can't blame anybody but myself. I should have paid more attention. But I can't blame anybody but myself for that. So I should have paid more attention. So I guess now we're going to add on moving an existing contraption. And just like that, we are done with, for all intents and purposes, the furnace section. Now, if you haven't watched Iscal's build tutorial on this, this is set up to time this out so that these items receive 64 items. There'll be 2 hopper minecarts here that I haven't placed yet. They'll pull from this chest right here, and this timing should give them 64 items. Now, it's probably not going to work out, and I'm going to have to play with this a little bit to make sure they're actually getting 64 items. But I can do that later once the whole thing's built. And I did end up having to tear out that and this system over here. When I have to, or I guess when I've finished this, I'll go ahead and tear out this block stream because it's obsolete now. And I'll work on moving it over there. So yeah, we have got this set up, and I have just set up this here, which is going to be the turn, and these chests will align the bamboo to be picked up by this. We will set up our water streams and whatnot shortly, but for now I have to actually prep to build the bamboo farm. So what's going to happen there is my collection point for the bamboo is going to roughly align with here. I might extend it out a little bit further because I'm not sure how much I'm going to need to actually make this thing happen. But my plan is to build it over this. I'll obviously have to rip down that, which is fine because as you can see, I've already ripped down a bunch of it, so I'm going to be redoing this whole structure around this anyway. But above this will be a bamboo farm. The collection will all occur down here. It will be spit out into water streams, hopefully roughly evenly divided. And then it'll come down here. And then the comparators that Iscal was using to activate zero-tick bamboo farms are just going to, if either of them activate, then it's just going to pretty much start the bamboo collection. It'll send out a flying machine back and forth. And I've already kind of designed the bamboo farm, so let's jump over to the redstone testing world and I'll show you that. Right behind me you can see the bamboo farm that I'm going to be using to power the smelter. Now, this is just a proof of concept. I'll probably have to make this longer than it currently is, but it'll give you the general idea. So first of all, let's go ahead and grow this up. So when it's fully grown, I'll either have a redstone, I'll have some kind of redstone signal come in here where the button is, This goes out and it sends the carts out. And all these entities are really making it struggle. Yeah, I'm getting dropped frames. So the carts go out, they collect it. As you can see, they obviously didn't get all of it because there's a lot of bamboo happening. But they will come back to these stations and unload. And these right here, while any station are unloading, these are all open, allowing the carts to travel back out and collect items again. Right underneath all this is the redstone, so whenever this comes in here, and now that I'm thinking about it, I have an observer on that, but I'm actually thinking about it now, and it's not necessary anymore because I kind of changed the design. There we go. So this observer here will pick this up. It'll send a signal, which will activate this piston, which will turn off this redstone line, which will open all of the trapdoors. Now also, if any of these are unloading, this torch is powered, so it gets a signal from here, keeping it open as well. That way we shouldn't have any loss. And now I kind of wish I was playing on fabric so that I could tick warp this, but it'll be alright. We'll wait a little bit and I'll just cut it out. Alright, so it should be launching soon. And there they go. Collecting again. Usually the second time around they've picked up everything. They're also picking up from these hoppers here, which are collecting, I suppose, most of the bamboo, because I've finally hit this edge case. But it's getting the bulk of the bamboo from both sides, including over here as well. There's a hoppers here which go directly into the minecarts while they're docked, and then these here that also pick up items that they can collect when they launch. And so we'll wait again and we'll show how the stations here actually maintain the dock, because this was actually a pretty cool way of keeping these things contained, I think. And since some of them have unloaded, they just kind of leave out to see if they can collect anything else. If they can't, they keep relaunching while there are carts still here docked and unloading. Looks like that one picked up some stuff from the hoppers. And while they're all out, you can see these trapdoors close. They're still able to go in, but they can't come back out. That one apparently picked up some more stuff. There must have been a lot that went into those overflow hoppers at that end over there. And they've all finally docked. So you can see here how the little trapdoor system works. Like I said, these carts can easily slip up under there, unload if they need to, and if they don't, then they just pop back down, and the trapdoor keeps them here until they're ready to be launched again. That means I didn't need any pistons in here or anything like that, just power feeding over. And I'm really pleased with that. I haven't seen it anywhere, but I also didn't look. So somebody else might have come up with this before, but it works really well for my purposes and I'm really pleased with it. But this right here is generally what I'm going to be building over in the RedCraft server to fuel our furnace. And it is a massive fuel system. But I don't have a lot of use for bamboo outside of a smelter or just kind of making scaffolding. So this size farm here, it's no problem. I'll for sure be able to use it for that, and I don't mind building it. It's not very complex. There's a little bit of redstone action here, but other than that, it's mostly just rails and dirt. So let's pop back over to the RedCraft server and get this built. So we have got the general width and the water streams in place. This right here, the bamboo farm is 20 wide, so we've got a 2 center point here. So I just took some trapdoors, popped one on each side so we could get a water stream within those 2 blocks there going in each direction. And then that should keep the left and right half of the farm evenly distributed so we don't end up, overloading one side or the other. But now I'm going to have to actually get started on building the bamboo farm itself. The line of droppers will be here, so I'm going to use it as the point as to how I build everything. So I'll set up the unloading stations, and then I can build the farm based off the unloading stations and just kind of tear down whatever I need to. And what I think I'm going to do is bring it to... I think I'm going to bring it to about here. I'm going to have the bamboo farm go from there to about here. And hopefully, I might actually do less. I might bring it to the end of this because the end station isn't that hard to build, where it just kind of sends it back. And if this isn't far enough to actually kind of keep these filled up, then I can always extend it fairly easily. So I built the bulk of these unloading stations and realized far too late that this was going to be the level that my tracks were at for collecting the bamboo. Now, in case you haven't spotted the problem yet, that's going to put it at the exact same height as that. That track right there. I can't put a track over this track without a block, so all of these are too low by 1. I have to raise every single one of them. And I'm half tempted to figure out some way to make these double speed unloaders, since I have to tear it all down and rebuild it anyway. But, I mean, just the fact that I gotta tear it all down and fucking start over, what a pain in my ass. But it's my own fault. I should have built one completely and then duplicated like I normally do, but I didn't. And now I've hit a point where I'm kind of at an impasse. So I've run out of white concrete here as I'm building the collection system, and I think I'm going to take it out to about that far. I'm already going to have to move this right here over, which is fine. I mean, I can just have it come up like right around there and then intersect with this, because it's going to have to change up anyway. This is going to tie into it, and all of this is coming out. It's going to be redirected probably that way somehow. I'm not exactly sure. I might even take it underground, but that's neither here nor there. What's gonna have to happen now is I'm gonna have to rebuild my concrete maker, because I had to tear it out to make room for this. But now I need more white concrete, so I might as well go ahead and rebuild it and get it tied back into the conveyor system. That way I can finish this up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it so that it's attached right here. The blocks will feed out there, go up, over, and down into that conveyor point right there, and then feed into the system. I thought about attaching it into this butt here, but there's not a lot of space right here to actually convey the blocks around. I'd have to send them out, over, back, and then turn here and all that, and I don't want to cram this space up too much, because I am planning on adding what I'm going to do, I am going to add, I didn't do it before, but this time I will add the attachment to the concrete maker to also create the various types of nylium. So that's going to add a little bit of bulk to that system that it didn't previously have. So That's going to be feeding into this now. And I just want to make sure that I do have space for that. And I know nylium is essentially the dirt of the nether, but I do want to have the option to have a bunch of it because I'm not entirely certain how I'm going to be setting up my nether portal quite yet. So I do want to have the option to make it in bulk just in case I do need quite a bit of it. I kind of been toying with how I'm going to do the nether hub and all that, so it's one of the things that's kind of been on my mind. And besides, like I said, I want the factory to basically mass produce everything that I can mass produce. Okay, so I've finally got this rebuilt. Built it right onto the edge of the tree farm like I was talking about, and I have tested everything except for the nylium converter. But I did put in a new super speed bud there, and put in a couple of conveyors into this little section here, and it is all going to the TNT blast chamber just like it should. So I'm gonna make up my concrete for now, mostly because that's what's already kind of in the dropper system. And if I do the nylium test second, it'll help push out any of this white concrete that's still left in the conveyor out into the TNT blast chamber. And it's a pretty simple setup here. This is just dispensers with bone meal. It'll bone meal the netherrack as it passes through. If I want warp nylium, switch that. If I want crimson nylium, switch that. And if I want a 50-50 shot of one or the other, I could just have them both on. And eventually I'll close this up. But I'm going to go ahead and get all my concrete together. That way I can get back to finishing the bamboo farm so I can actually get the smelter done in this episode. Because I start a new job tomorrow, so I'm trying to get some episodes backlogged before I end up having to go to sleep at normal hours. I'm not looking forward to that, but it is what it is. So, as you can see, I have actually finished building the bamboo farm. I even tested this and everything, made sure that the collection was working, and then I even did another test to make sure that the furnace was working properly. I've tied in here the system that checks, oh come on, just jump up there, that checks to see when this particular hopper here empties, and I do need to actually modify that because if this one's empty then they're all empty, and I did find out that this right here does not actually produce enough bamboo to fill this on one go. It takes about 3. So I'm going to modify this whole system here to respond to a smaller amount of bamboo out. I also finished building the mycelium generator, only to find out that that was a complete waste of time. Because what actually happens is, so put that like that, this would generate warp nylium, not mycelium, nylium, the nylium generator. When I send it here, it does create my nylium, but the longer it sits in here, or the longer it sits in there, or the longer it sits in that stack, it eventually just turns back into netherrack. And between all the points that it's, stacked, I end up just getting netherrack. I haven't actually tested to see if when this passes through and is actually warped nylium over here when it detonates, I don't even know that it drops nylium. So I might actually have to do a little bit of experimenting with that to see. It does make a lot of this stuff though, so who knows. Maybe I'll put like a little minecart collector down there, and this stuff is garbage, but the fungus can be useful. But either way, as you can see, there we go. A lot of it, and I do mean a lot, isn't converted. And I might have actually ran out of bone meal. I did. But anyway, this stuff right here aside, you can see over there, we've got it in there. It hasn't actually made it to that. But what happens is when that stuff actually sits over there and it's got blocks stacked on top of it, it reconverts back into just netherrack. So this whole thing was pointless. But this is built here. Now, the reason I didn't kind of check in during the construction of this is because right now is almost to the day a month since I started this project. I haven't been on this server for about almost 4 weeks. It's been, like I said, almost a month, because I started a new job, and it's a full-time job, and it's been taking up a lot of my time. I've been having to do some training and certification for Sonic Wall to get a specific certification and stuff for network security and all that. But either way, things have finally calmed down now enough that I can kind of get back to it. But it is complete. It does work. I ran a bunch of green dye through here, well, cactus, and made green dye. And all that's really left is to kind of tie in the system here that feeds items into that chest. I'm going to set up some kind of switching system up there that will redirect the flow to here or something like that. And I did also move this water stream to make way for this. But all in all, that project is more or less complete. So like I said, next thing, I'm going to send this over, get this thing loading properly, set up some kind of, other loading area for when I need to run like manual items through. Although I will be building a similar system, not exactly this, but the furnace will be the same, but the coal will be different. The actual fuel for the furnace. I'll be building that over at the house, and I'll probably do that off camera because you've already seen this one, so why would you concern yourself with that one? But yeah, and then of course I've got to tie this into storage and things like that, but generally I am finished. So I just wanted to check in and give you that update. I am not dead, I'm just extremely busy with work. But I'm back at it now. I'm going to try to start uploading regularly again. Oh my god, I can't say that word. But for now, I'm going to post this long overdue video. And until next time, I'll catch you later. Take it easy.